There's a battle taking place in this precious little piece of remnant bushland, which is just 6 kilometres from the Perth CBD. And the battle is all about the survival of an iconic bird species, the Carnaby's cockatoo. Not only is it endangered, but the bush that supports it, the Banksia woodland, is also in danger. Bushy, what's the significance of Cockitrough bushland?
Well, Cockitrough bushland is really significant to the town of Victoria Park. It's our last major remaining Banksia woodland that we have here. There are over 208 species of local endemic plants here, including our wonderful jarrah trees we see above us here and Banksias. And these trees are really significant to our town, and we utilise all the seed that we collect from this bushland and we put it into our urban forest programs, and that includes planted areas, our street tree programs, also when we regenerate pieces of bushland as well in and around this area.
So all the seed, all the cuttings come from this area, so it's really local.
So we engage some specialist nurseries, so if we can put that rich diversity back into our planted areas, we got a chance of expanding this wonderful bushland into areas around it.
So what's the relationship between this piece of bushland and the Carnaby's cockatoo?
Well, this piece of bushland represents the natural food sources for Carnaby's cockatoos. So the Banksia woodlands, part of the reasons they're a threatened species, well, the main reason they're a threatened species is because a lot of their habitat has been taken over as a result of urbanisation, as a result of agriculture. We've reduced the areas that were the natural feeding habitats for Carnaby's cockatoos. Natural food supply is not there anymore.
The town of Victoria Park have pioneered the development of a cockatoo watering trough, which has the potential to save many of these endangered birds, including the Carnaby's and the forest red-tailed cockatoo. Gregor Wilson, how did this come about?
This idea came about back in 2018 where we were approached by some residents as well as one of the councillors about birds getting cleaned up near Raymond Park drinking from puddles on the road. So we looked at, can we do some sort of water storage within the park? So we knew we'd have to have them elevated away from the public and animals. So we put them up the top of a 3-metre pole, the original prototype, with 2 troughs. And they operate from a battery valve in the ground that's hooked into scheme water, so they automatically replenish once a day or whatever you program them for. They hold about 23 litres and they're on a concrete base that's bolted to, and obviously the scheme water's hooked into them.
So how popular are they?
I think to date we've got about 130 of them in the West Australia, including up in Geraldton, a lot in the local councils, some in schools, some even in private residence. Kings Park, Yanchep National Park, and there's one now at the Amaris Wildlife Centre, 80 k's north of Albany.
Mayor Karen Vernon, how do you get your community involved?
We have an urban forest program, we do community planting days, tree giveaways, and we've got a community advisory group. The community planting days is a day when families come out and actually get their hands dirty and plant trees and shrubs with us. So a 20% canopy cover or more, if we can get it, will certainly do things like cool our suburbs. It will address heat island effect on roads, and all of those things are really important in addressing the climate emergency and how our community will adapt to that going forward. We're really proud of the Urban Forest Grant Program because community members and organisations can put together a proposal for how they can increase tree canopy and biodiversity, and the town has funding available up to $15,000 per project. So it's a great opportunity for everyone to be involved.
For me, it's great to see local councils making the places where we work, live and recreate greener, cooler, safer for wildlife and safer for us as well. You see, when it comes down to the basics, this is really about survival.